5 years ago, we saw the largest attack on free speech that we've ever seen in our lifetimes, perhaps ever in the history of our country. And as you know, the First Amendment is about speech, free speech. It's about freedom of the press. It's about freedom of assembly. People weren't allowed to go to work and to school and to worship, etc. Here in Southern California, they even limited the number of people that they did allow around the pier on Santa Monica Beach, outside, in the sun. Insane, crazy. Yes, indeed. But what it says is that we, the people, have a responsibility to not only be an active movement, but to continue to be that active movement. And that's the importance, maybe more than ever, of anything else with the Center for Political Innovation, is to be an actual movement that doesn't go away. It stays together. It not only not goes away, but it grows with the realization that being proactively involved with others is absolutely essential as a check and balance to things that can happen, such as what we saw 5 years ago with the First Amendment. Because I've said many times to people, if you let the First Amendment go, then that's an attack on everything else. And also, too, another thing that didn't get discussed, this often doesn't get discussed, is it was probably the largest transfer of wealth from the bottom to the top, also in the history of humankind, and certainly in our lifetimes. And prior to COVID, there was some data in a long-term study over about 30 years that ended in 2019 that said that the top 10% shared 72% of all the wealth, and that was prior to COVID-19, 2020. So what could it be now? And there's a lot that can be discussed about that. You know, you can very easily be in a bubble when economically you really don't have any needs. You know how your bills are going to get paid. You might complain about the grocery prices. Never forget, just like you learn to listen, learn from mistakes. Never forget. I'll leave you with one more thought. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya is now the head of the NIH ID, the agency that was run by Anthony Fauci for decades. And he, along with two other academics, he's not only a medical doctor, but he teaches at Stanford University here in California. He and two other academics wrote what's called the Barrington Declaration in 2020, and it was signed by thousands of medical professionals, basically saying that locking down our entire society is a huge mistake. We should only be focusing on the most vulnerable people. And that has proven to be true, because we saw the disastrous results of locking everybody down, let alone the attacks on the First Amendment. But what an improvement, right? He is now head of the NIH ID. Have a great day.